Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Rofi Yassin and you guys are learning ASP.NET Core MVC and we are developing a complete e-commerce web application using ASP.NET Core MVC. In the previous video, we understood uh, how we have created these three separate projects and how these projects are interrelated with each other and what project needs the reference of which project needs the reference of which project. So basically I'm going to show you a quick understanding, like just in 2 lines, how these are related, and then we're going to basically add references of our projects within each other. So basically uh, our web project needs the reference of core project and needs the reference of business project, whereas our business project needs the reference of core project, and our core project doesn't need any reference of uh, these projects because this is independent project. It doesn't have to add reference of any other project, but we do have to add reference of this core project within web and business, and we have to add reference of business project within this web project. Okay, I think it makes sense. Let's add the references and see how it goes through. So over here we have Paddington Pound Saving Store as a solution, and then it contains three projects. This is a business project, this is a core project, and this is a web project. Now the business project needs the reference of core project, and the web project needs the reference of both core and business project. So how we can add references of each project? What is the meaning of reference? So let's say we have models within this and we want to use that model within the business project. So how we can use? In order to use, because this is a separate project and this is a separate project. So in order to use this model within this project, we'll have to add the reference of this project. So how we can add the reference of core project within the business project, and how we can add the reference of core and business project within this web project. So in order to add reference, we'll have to right click on the solution. Understand, we're going to add reference of core project within the business project. So what we can do, we can right click here and add project reference. Click here, and from quick presentation and in the previous video a detailed understanding of project, now we understand the business project needs the reference of core project, and we will click OK. So when you click this, you can go here in the dependencies and you can expand this, and you can see our business project is now referenced, like our core project is now referenced within this business project. Okay, so that's it for the business project. Now we can do, we will have to add a reference of business and core project within our web project so that we can use models, repositories, and all the things within our web application or web project. So we can right click here and where we have option add, then we have project reference. Click, and within this web project we need reference of core and business, both projects. So we can click hit core and business and click OK. So when you click OK, you can click expand the dependencies, and within this we have projects and we have reference of business and core project. What does it mean? It means that we can use any bit or any clause or anything of business and core project within our web project, and that's it. This is how you can add references. So let's say we have I'm going to add a test class here in the models folder. So let's say I want to add a test class here with one property, and I'll have to set up this as a public because I want to use outside. So prop int of id. So we have this id test class with one property id within this core project. So when I will come here in the business project, and let's say I want to use this test class in my business project. Let's add another test2 class and make this class as a public. And over here, let's say I want to use test class which resides within this test class. So what we can do, we can write here test, remove this, and if you hover mouse, or you can simply press control dot or click on this light below, and look, it is telling you, do you want to use this namespace using pound saving store.core.models. If I click here, and you can see this namespace is added here, pound saving store.core.models, and if you come in your core project, you can see we have this namespace. Now what we can do, test t is equals to new test, and that's it. I can use it without any problem. So let's say t.id equals to 1, for example. So if you come here in the test public, what we have now, so let's say write test, and we have test.id equals to like 1 to 3. So this is how you can use what I'm doing, tst.id. So let's say I want to use like this, I can use without any problem, I can use it. Okay, it is giving me rename test to tst, but forget about that. Let's say remove this one. I just want to show you how you can use classes within the, so we have class within this core project, and I want use this test class within this business project, and I am able to use. Now when I come here in the web project, and you can see in dependencies we have added references of these project like business project and core project within this web project. And when I come here in the home controller, so let's say in this section result I want to create an object of test t is equals to new test, and I'll have to add a namespace using pound saving store.core.models. That's it. Let's say I want to use test2 t2 equals to new test2, and again I'll have to add a business reference because test2 class is within the business project. Control dot, and look, it is telling using pound saving store.business.data, import the namespace, and when you come here you can see we have added like this business reference and the core reference. So this is how you can use these classes because our projects are now referenced with each other, and now we can use different classes of different projects within the different projects. And now let's say what we have problem with this ID column. So basically it is, I think this is issue of Visual Studio, because I'm not following the naming convention, because these are test classes. So let's say I want to add public void add method within this class. I just want to give a kickstart to the Visual Studio to understand why it is giving me error. So let's say I want to use this add method over here. So let's say add method is in within t.add. Look, I can access this method, and now you can see I can also access t.id property of this method, this class. So let's say I want to access this id property t.id, tst.id equals to 1 to 3, and tst dot, sorry, I was not like I'll have to use this in a method. So let's say I have a method public void sum, and within this method let's say I want to use my test class. So test t is equals to new test, and then t.id equals to 1 to 3, t.add. Let's see. Perfect. We can use these classes, these methods, these properties within all the projects. So now our projects are referenced with each other, and we can use these separate classes and methods and properties in whatever project we need. So now I'm going to reset the thing. This was just a quick demo to show you how we can add. So I'm going to remove this test class. We don't need this class anymore, and I'm going to remove this class as well. And within the home controller, I'm going to remove these two classes as well. So now I don't need these business and model. We will have to add this, but later on, not now. So I can remove this, and I can build my project so that I can see I don't have any errors, because I've added 2 3 classes and then I've immediately removed those classes. So maybe there was a namespace reference, so we'll have to remove that. So build succeeded, so we don't have any issues. Perfect. I hope so. Now you understand the better layer architecture of our application, purposes of business layer, core layer, and web layer. And in the next video, we'll be going through and adding new features and like new things in our application. Till that, see you in the next video. Bye.